Buster, beware. You're in for a scare.
Hello everyone, Nightmare Nemo here, and welcome to Scary Town, the Goosebumps review show. And this week, after the conclusion of the first story arc of Horrorland, we're going back with another classic Goosebumps tale with You Can't Scare Me. And the tagline for this is, They're Coming For You, which is it's kind of an indicator of how much imagination and Stein put into this, because I'll be honest with you, I did not enjoy reading this, and this is a book that I don't really remember from my childhood. There's good reason for that. And there's the back. It's going to be a scream. Instead of screaming because you're scared, you're going to be screaming because how terrible it is. Especially the ending. The ending is really bad. So, our main character is Eddie. He has 3 friends. One of them is just called Hat because he's always wearing a baseball cap. And at one point in the story, there's like, you want to see something really scary? And then one of the kids takes off his cap, and it shows that he's actually never washed his hair, and that's why he wears a baseball cap. And there's 2 other girls who are... The only difference between the 2 is one of them has glasses and braces, but they look identical. And then, of course, there is the sort of antagonist of the story, Courtney, who is like this shining star in the school. She's like really brave, and she's like really popular, and everyone likes her except for these guys. She's always showing them up, and the story begins as they're going on a field trip and into the woods, and Eddie like trips and falls, and then he sees like this green snake, and he thinks the snake is about to like bite his leg, and he gets all freaked out. And that's when Courtney comes in, grabs the snake, and says, "Why are you scared of this green snake? It's just a ordinary garden variety snake, and it's completely harmless. Completely harmless. You're crazy. You're just a chicken." And this really sets Eddie off, and even Hat like makes fun of him, saying he's a chicken and stuff. And Hat's kind of a jerk, and that he's not very supportive. Like, he tries to be, but this sets off the catalyst for everything else, because the whole idea of the story is these group of 4 kids are trying to scare Courtney, and that's it. That's the story. They're trying to scare her, and by the cover the Mudmen are going to get involved, and so the Mudmen don't show up until like 15 to 20 pages at the very end. So you're waiting, it is building up towards that, and you're like, why are we wasting time with these they're trying to scare her with these increasingly more dumb and terrible ways that they come up with. So we'll go through. They try to scare her by putting, like, to be fair, it's a realistic looking black snake, and they put it in their lunch bag, and that doesn't work because one of the teachers in the cafeteria forgot his lunch, so she does him a solid, gives him her lunch, and he freaks out and screams like a little girl, which is kind of hilarious. And so that doesn't work, and that's pretty much how all the other jokes that they try to pull on Courtney to get her scared, something just luckily happens, or I guess unluckily happens, and it gets screwed up and it doesn't work, or she just doesn't get scared. They're like, I'm not scared of snakes, not scared of spiders, that's not scared of anything that you throw at you, so none of it works, and that's it. That's the whole story. There's nothing else to it. They just don't let it go. I think like 3/4 into the story, at one point Eddie is like, well, maybe we should just give up. But he's there's a few things that happen along the way where she still shows up Eddie, making him look like a coward, and it just burns in him, makes him feel really bad about himself. And he is a coward, and it's really hard to root for him and his friends in this effort. They really should just drop it, and he needs to just learn to overcome his fears and stop being such a scared cat. So it's just really hard to get behind these guys. It's just really hard to care. It's like I don't know. The concept behind the story is very thin, and it really only gets interesting once the Mudmen show up. And even then, the ending is so disappointing. Even I would really say, skip reading this book. This is the first time I'm going to say skipping. Actually, I'm not going to recommend reading this at all. Skip this book. Watch the Goosebumps episode, because the ending in that is way better. And you will waste so little time actually reading this, because this book is a waste of time. It's a waste of effort, and you could be reading something a lot better. Another Goosebumps book. So, yeah. I'm throwing a lot of shade on this book, but rightfully so. It's not very good. It's not scary at all. I mean, it's kind of funny. The book, it says, you can't scare me, and there's nothing particularly scary about it unless you're scared about mudmen or whatever. I mean, so it's not scary. It's kind of boring, because you're waiting for the mudmen to show up, and unless you like the kind of drama with the kids trying to scare Courtney and all this stuff. I mean, I guess that's kind of interesting, but it's not really good for a Goosebumps book, really, because there has to be something else, like a supernatural element or some kind of sense of danger that the kids are in, and there's a little bit of that, but it's pretty weak. So yeah, there's nothing really redeeming out of this book at all. So do yourself a favor, watch the Goosebumps TV episode, and just call it a day. So that's what about You Can't Scare Me. Avoid it. Watch the TV episode. That's it. So until then, I'll see you guys next time.